This is Trash Talk with your host, Garrett the Trash Man.
What is up, everybody? This is Garrett the Trash Man, your host of Trash Talk. We do have John the Batman Ballard back. Johnny, how you doing
Sup?
today?
Spectacular.
All right, let's dive into this podcast, John.
Let's do it to
right
her.
away. It's Fire Friday. Let's fire them up right away. Fire, get them in. This is for the 5-minute drive to your gym to get you hyped. All right, John, what you got?
So I have got something that I have talked about before,
Okay.
but there was a realization around it that I had last night. And part of that is I've talked a lot about fear and not letting it control you.
Mm-hmm.
Because I know that happens a lot in my life,
Okay.
and I'm always constantly trying to be aware of that and not let that happen in my life.
Mm-hmm.
And to create my life in a way that, that's not part of me and what I'm doing. And I found a realization that if you have committed to something but it is not happening, look to identify how fear is keeping you from doing that. So I'm in the process of a lot of inquiry in my life of figuring out some things for myself and for my family, and have been looking into some new avenues in life and such, and know what in some parts of that are going to look like in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But then for about the last week and a half to 2 weeks, all of a sudden my thought process has been, well, you can't do that because of blank, 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 blank,
X,
blank,
Y,
blank.
and Z.
And big, long stories that my mind tells me. And I've been like, well, man, like, I felt so clear, and now I don't. What is going on? And it's just that dadgum old fear sneaking back in.
I'll do that.
In a way that I have experienced it in the past. I just haven't experienced it this way in a while.
That's what's so funny about fear, is it doesn't show up and be like, you're afraid. It shows up like, oh, here's the reason that totally makes sense of why that's not going to work.
Logically,
Like,
that won't work.
You don't actually have enough time to do that. Yeah, so because you are as productive as you possibly could be for every second of every day. Sorry, you just don't have enough time. It's nothing to do with time. You're just making, like, your mind just instantly gets to work of like, what excuse are we going to accept? Find it, because this is scary. What if we fail? Man, we'll look like idiots.
Yeah, and then the world might end if we fail.
Oh, no.
It could.
Oh, no.
Not really. But.
Dude, it's so funny, though. Like, I've really experienced that with the trading, because there's times where I'm really bringing myself and then not, but it's put me in a place of reflecting, and realizing that I really have never experienced myself truly, fully committed to anything in my life. I'm always leaving something back.
A back door open.
And it's like, man, who would I be for myself, first off, if I just showed up? Like, not, like, showed the freak up, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely 100% in, all in, going for it. Nothing stops me. I think I would think I'm pretty great.
Yeah.
And I bet my wife, I bet you I'd get some performance out of my wife if I showed up that way.
Mm-hmm. It's funny you say that, because I was having this conversation much more in depth with Steph last night, and we were talking about some stuff, and we reached a new subject, and she was just like, you could see this like sparkle in her eye, and she's like, when we changed the subject to this, your entire demeanor like completely changed, and you were on cloud 9. And I'm like, absolutely, like dude, let's do it, like, let's go, let's, like, whatever it takes, like, doesn't matter, like. And she was just like, that's what you need to do, like, it's understood, like, like, it's that easy.
Mm-hmm.
Now you just need to go create it. And I was just like, Jiminy Christmas, that's just pure gold.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'd agree that if like something aligns for you and you can just completely throw yourself into it and commit, leave no back doors open, it's, yeah, like I can see the possibility of like there's no limit.
Yeah.
And when I've looked back and think, oh yeah, I completely committed to that. I look back and think, if I would have been completely committed, the outcome would have been way different.
Mm-hmm. Yep, I'm definitely seeing that in my life right now. And like, man, that means willing to have any conversation, go anywhere, get anything done. Truly look at what commitment is. Like, commitment.
I like that. It's good stuff.
All right, dude. So I'm gonna talk a little bit about something that kind of ties into what you're doing in your life and exploring what's aligned for you, but in a little bit different light. So one of my managers came into my office and we were chatting for a little bit, and we landed on the sweat pledge, micro sweat pledge. I don't know if anyone else has ever read that or familiar with it, but he's got it. I've got it posted around our company in a couple different places. But essentially, something that Mike Rowe says that I really agree with is he talks about how passion isn't something that you find. There's all this talk about like, oh, find what you're passionate about and do that as your job. Now, Mike is like, no, it comes from in you. Same as happiness, same as anger, same as sadness. There's nothing outside that like cuts you open and puts anger in you. No one makes you angry.
They're not pouring passion down your throat.
Exactly. Like it comes from inside of you. And my experience has been that when I show up when I bring myself, passionate self to any task, any job, stuff that it aligns and becomes easier to be passionate about show up in my life. And that being that we're in the garbage industry, I spent the last 3 days attending a virtual waste hauler summit, and just hearing the discussions, the challenges that people are facing in the industry, and even just the excitement of the industry. You can see it's like, well, no wonder you have an issue getting an employee. You want to get out of this as soon as you can. You're not happy being in this.
Yeah.
Like, why would you think other people would want to come join you if you're like, oh yeah, trash business, it sure is kind of not great. Which it really is a great industry, but I get, it's not the most highly renowned industry.
Yeah. People don't grow up saying, "Oh, I want to be in the trash industry."
Yeah. Well, I might have, but
but you also got to see like the real side of it.
yeah.
People see a guy in a garbage truck, and they're like, most people are like, it probably doesn't sound that fun.
Yeah. Like, when you're meeting new people, networking, oh yeah, I run a investment firm, and oh yeah, I run this technology company. Well, we're doing this, and it's like, yeah, I run a trash company. Hell yeah. Which I don't introduce myself that way because that's not what I'm doing. I'm building this organization that's incredibly service focused, where we recognize that every interaction we have with a customer is a chance to improve that person's life in some way. And at the same time, we're performing this service that's vitally important to the health and safety of all of humanity. And we do it in a way that's safe and productive and efficient. And it's part of the infrastructure of our very country. That's how I describe what I do when I introduce myself. But boil it down, I'm a trash man.
Yeah.
Like I
hence Garrett the trash man.
I take trash from here to over there. But bringing the passion, like you can tell a completely different story. And it's not that story's not true. Like realize what you're really doing. Just show up with passion is the end of the day what I want to say here. Whatever you're doing, wherever thou art, do well thy part.
Mm-hmm. That's good stuff.
Just wherever you're at, even if you're not where you want to be, just be doing that well. And I promise you the other opportunities of wherever you do want to be will just start showing up for you. Because it's not going to come from sitting on your A.
I would concur with that 100%.
Great concurration, then.
I like to use the word concur. I don't know why, but I just started using it a few years back, and it just
It's
don't
like the word ought for me. Ought and ought not.
Yep, yeah.
I like it. All right. Appreciate you guys listening. Share with your friends. Podcasting is fun. Garrett the Trash Man.
Word.
Peace.